Hello and welcome back to Hot Girls Can't Drive. I'm your host Bree, and today I'm being joined by one of my best friends, Grace.
Hi.
So Grace is one of my friends from Maryland. So I'm back in Maryland right now. I came home for fall break, and I'm going to be here till Tuesday. So we were hanging out, and we just decided to record an episode to kind of talk about boys and our experiences growing up and kind of how we've dealt with dating in the 21st century as girls. And we're also joined by Grace's dog, Sadie. Sadie, say hi.
She's kind of gone around the block a lot, so she has some stories.
She has some experiences too. She has some experiences too, so she's gonna be sharing them too.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. So go ahead and introduce yourself. So what school do you go to?
Okay.
Majoring in.
So my name's Grace. I'm 20.
Sadie.
I go to the community college and I am studying nursing transfer, so I'm finishing all my prereqs before I go into nursing school. And I'm currently trying to find a job.
And what's your dating status? Are you single? Are you in a relationship?
I am single, but I guess I'd say I'm like talking to someone.
Okay, talking to someone. And I'm obviously very single. We all know that by now.
This girl is too picky.
I always talk about this with my mom and all my friends. I'm like the pickiest person ever when it comes to boys.
Which like isn't a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, I think it is when I'm like overly picky. Like I was actually thinking about this the other day. I was like, I feel like I'm like looking for the perfect guy. And like at the end of the day, like we're all human. So like there's no such thing as like a perfect person. And any single time I'm like talking to a guy and I see like one flaw or I get like one ick and I'm like, oh, like never mind. Like I can't, like we're done.
Yeah.
Because I'm like overly picky.
Yeah.
And there's definitely been like relationships in the past where I've like looked back and I'm like, oh, like I wish I didn't end things with them. Like I wonder what would happen if I like stuck with them. So there's definitely like a little bit of regret, and that's definitely something I'm like trying to work on right now is like not being so judgmental and so picky when it comes to guys. I feel like you kind of have more experience dating than I do.
Yeah, I would say like I'm definitely the type of person like I date to marry, and like that might sound weird because I'm 20, but like I don't want to like date with the intention of like throwing it out the window, you know? And while I do date to marry, I also think it's important to like date different people and see what you like and you don't like. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, now that I've dated two guys, trust me, I know what I don't like. But yeah, I mean like I'm also a very like I say like too much. Literally slap me upside the face. I say it again.
No, I say like it up all the time. I always feel bad for people that are listening. I'm like.
Like. But what was I gonna say? I think that it's important to meet different people, or you know, in my case, different guys, and kind of, I don't know, see who you vibe with, see what gives you the ick, see what you like what kind of relationship you want. Like there's some girls that are like, I want a guy that like praises the floor I walk on.
Me?
No, literally same. Like
I'm like fish. You should be lucky to get to go out with me.
Literally, and like when I tell like other girls that or whatever, they're like, no, that's like disgusting. I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't want it any other way. Like, and yeah, you know the saying, like, if he wanted to, he would. Like,
no, I agree with that.
I think that's really important. And I also think that's, like, important, like, in the other way, too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to treat a guy how I want to be treated in a relationship.
Yeah. And something I just wanted to preface kind of before we get into this conversation is we might end up talking about, like, previous relationships or previous maybe, like, traumatic or toxic or bad experiences that we've had in the past. And when we're talking about those men, we're not talking about them like specifically as a person. Like I don't want to give clout or attention to those specific people. I'm just talking about their actions or things that they did to like negatively impact me or positively like affected me and kind of what I look for in future relationships. So like if you know me on a personal level and we might start talking about past relationships and you might know who I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about them to like talk about, or to talk, or to give them any attention, because honestly, like, obviously I moved on. Yeah, and a lot of experiences I've had was when these guys were like a lot younger, and we've grown up now, so I hope that they've changed. So I'm not talking about them, I'm just talking about their actions.
This is a podcast. We're going to talk about our lives. And
right.
Like, it's nothing like, oh, I hope this person, you know, like, it's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've moved on very
I don't really speak to like any of the guys that I like used to be in relationships or like went out with or something, or like if
that. Someone brings them up, I'm like, oh, them.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, kind of forgot.
Sometimes I'll talk about them and I'll be like, oh my god, that reminds me so much.
Yeah.
Like, blah blah blah. Like, I was interviewing for this job the other day, and the manager comes out. I literally thought it was my ex.
Like, so there's this kid that I'm coaching swim lessons for right now back in Miami, and he looks exactly like my ex-boyfriend did if he was like younger, like a younger version. Yeah. And every single time I see him, I'm like, hello? Like, yeah. But it's so funny because a lot of my friends stayed in Maryland for school, so they'll text me all the time. They'll be like, "Oh, saw this person."
I see your ex all the time at school.
Oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing.
Tanner always points him out. Tanner's like, "Oh my god, there's blah blah blah," and I'm like,
"Yeah," I'm like, "Ew." Yeah, Tanner always like. Well, Tanner's like a mutual friend of ours. He always texts me. And he's like, "Oh, saw this person or saw this person." I'm like, "You don't need to announce it like every single time." Like, I've been moved on. So for backstory with me, I've only ever been in one relationship, and it was when I was yeah. Oh, okay, we're learning new things. And it was when I was a sophomore in high school, so it's been a while. And I've gone on dates. Like, I've gone on dates with guys, and I've gone out with guys, but I haven't, like, I always am so, because I'm so picky, I've only ever been in, like, one relationship, and it was actually because my mom told me I should go out with him, which it ended so badly, and now my mom's like, I regret, like, ever telling you to go out with him, but
that's the one that, like, cheated.
Oh yeah, he cheated on me. We can say that. He cheated on me. But yeah, my mom was the one that told me to go out with him. And that's the one that
I see at school all the time.
Oh yeah, so I've only ever had one relationship, just to preface, and it's been a long time. So Bree is a little rusty. But Grace, you've been in some recent relationships. You have.
I wouldn't say recent.
More recent than sophomore year of high school.
Yeah. I had my first relationship freshman year. Oh my god. Today would have been our 1 year.
Oh. 1 year, oh my gosh.
Someone told me that today. I'm like, why do you remember that? No, but I got into my first relationship freshman year of college, first semester. We're both sophomores in college. And a lot of my friends didn't like him, and I, like, made excuses a lot. I feel like I was like, oh, he's just a boy. Nowadays, I would never do that. He's just a boy, no.
Yeah, like, making excuses for him.
Yes, like, there's people out there that aren't just boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But basically, I have alopecia, and I wear a wig, and he would be like... Once I was, like, jokingly, like, oh, I'm not gonna wear my wig to your frat party. He's like, you better wear that. Like,
canceled!
And I was like, oh my god, like, totally, I would never, like, embarrass you like that. Which, looking back, is so sad.
Yeah. Like, he's your boyfriend. He should be, like, telling you to embrace the way you look. And,
exactly. And I've learned.
Oh my god, I didn't even know about it.
I didn't tell you about that?
No.
I swear, like, everyone knows about that. He would say things to me and people that surround me and kind of make it up with nice gestures, I guess you would say. And I didn't really see that until after we broke up. And he wouldn't care that, like, the things that he was saying were to the people that I surround myself with and my friends, and he was fracturing those relationships, right. Which is really selfish. And, you know, my friends were like, Grace, you're putting a lot of your happiness on him, and I was like, yeah.
That's something that scares me. Like, I feel like my life is so much more interesting when there's a boy in it.
Exactly.
And I'm like, why am I so much happier right now when there's a guy? Like, I want to be this happy when there's not a guy.
No, I've totally grown out of that now. Like, I don't need a guy to be happy.
Good
like,
for you.
I'm very... Yeah, I'm glad I learned that lesson, and I'm glad my friend said something to me because I feel like it was a good lesson. And then my second relationship, which is like, I've only had 2 relationships. My most recent relationship was with a 65-year-old dad. No, I'm kidding. I wish. No, my most recent relationship was with someone I was with in college. We went to school together, like same friend group. That's kind of how we met. And it was like a good relationship. Like he was always really nice to me. We got along. I don't think we ever really had a fight. But we went long distance for summer, and
well, you broke up.
I broke up with him, and he was really mad about how I broke up with him. But I don't think he realized why I broke up with him the way that I did. And it was over text, which I know sounds like
I was
asshole-y.
with you.
Yeah, oh my god, she literally
We
got
were
me
at
to
the
send the
beach.
send button. Because she's like, you deserve so much better. But basically, like, I felt like if I died or, like, something awful happened to me, like, he wouldn't notice.
Like,
Like,
oh my
no,
gosh.
literally. And, he was just having, hang out with girls, not cheating at all, but hang out with girls and, like, sleeping over with them. Not like that, but like having just normal friend sleepovers. And I'm like, you can't do that while you're in a relationship. And he thought I was psycho for that. He's like, they're just my friends. I'm like, I don't care. You don't have sleepovers
you can't.
with other girls.
Yeah.
He thought I was insane. And literally, like, every one of my girlfriends that I talked to was like, I would literally beat the shit out of my boyfriend.
I would.
And I was so patient and I was so kind about it. And then I just had it. I was like, I'm not doing that. You're making me feel like shit. So I'm going to make you feel like shit by dumping you over text.
As you should. Yeah, I was there.
You know, I heard him and I apologized, but he got a taste of his own medicine. Honestly, the second one ended the worst, but the relationship was better than the first one.
Really?
Yeah. Like, he never said anything mean to me. He never, like, he was the type of person that wouldn't have yelled at me for not wearing my wig to a party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just so weird because it's just like, I just did not expect the ending that it had. And honestly, before I broke up with him, I was so depressed. And I was like, why am I so depressed? And I broke up with him, and then I was happy again.
Bye.
And that happened with my first one too. So it's like, I don't know why. I mean, I've discovered why, and you know, I see a therapist. Like, I'm gonna say that straight up. I see a therapist. I have anxiety. I have like depression, but it's not like super. What's the word? Super
severe.
Yeah. Like.
No, I was actually talking to my mom about this. I believe that literally every single person should see a therapist because everybody's got shit they need to work through, like
especially males. What?
But like, I truly believe that everyone should see a therapist.
I think it's so important. I mean, I've been seeing one since the 7th grade, and that's because I had a lot of things happen to me in my childhood that don't really happen to most people our age. And so I started seeing one in the 7th grade, and then I stopped once I went to, like, it was like junior year of high school when COVID was. Like, I kind of stopped, whatever, I didn't really need it, I was fine. And then I got into a really bad car accident February of, it was 2022. And self-improvement sense, if that gives you any sense of how traumatizing it was. So then I started seeing one again, and I see them like every month, and I'm medicated, and it really helps a lot. And I don't think there's any shame. If you're struggling, ask for help. Like, and if your parents are not supportive of like mental, I have a lot of friends who like struggle, and their parents like don't believe, and that's so sad to me. Like, they're your child. Like, you want them to be the best that they can be and the happiest they can be. So I think if you're in that situation, my heart goes out to you. And, you know, if you're like, you can start making medical decisions when you're like 16, I think, or something like that.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I think there's always someone to talk to.
Also, like, your school counselor.
That's what I was gonna say. Your school counselor, and like, yeah. I don't know.
I kind of think that I turn to my boyfriend as my therapist, and I think that's why it went so badly, because when I started a relationship with him, I was going through like major life changes. Like, my grandma had just moved in with us, and then my parents separated.
Yeah.
And then, like, I started a relationship with him, like, as soon as all this stuff was happening. So I was going through a lot of big changes. And so when I started dating him, like, obviously I would talk to him about all this stuff. And then he kind of became that, like, therapist figure for me. So then when he, like, when he started doing all this, like, toxic shit and, like, cheating on me, I felt this, like, need to stay with him, even though he was treating me like shit, because he was that therapist role for me, and he was
that one constant in your life.
Right. Like, when everything else in my life was changing, he was there. So I kind of glommed onto that, and it was really hard for me to let go. Which, looking back now, that is so embarrassing. Because
but like, when you're in, it's like the same with like, okay, I don't mean this to sound bad. It's like the same when like people are in abusive relationships and they don't leave, because it's like, my life is going to change so much when I leave this person. Right. But it will change for the better.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't realize that while you're... Not that I've ever been in an abusive relationship. I'm not calling any of my exes abusive, in case you're watching this. But... Yeah. Yeah,
but I... Like, looking back now, I'm like, I cannot believe my self-worth was ever that low. Like, to the fact that, like, I cannot believe that I, like, so we broke up, and then we started talking again after the fact that I found out he was, like, cheating. And I, like, was fully intending on getting back together with him. And it never happened. Like, we never did get back together, but, like, we ended up, like, talking and hanging out, which I should have never even entertained that idea. But at the time, I was like, what am I going to do?
You're like, oh!
Yeah, my one constant is, like... Yeah, no, for real. And I didn't, like... At the time, I thought that it was, like, the end of the world. Like, I was like, oh, my gosh, like, we broke up. Like, I'm never going to meet another guy as good as him, which he was not good. But, like, yeah. And it was so hard at the time to talk to anyone about it, because I remember feeling so alone, because I felt like talking to any adult figure, they were just like, oh, you're 16, you're like, so who cares? Yeah. And it was like, just because you're an adult and you've gone through more life experiences doesn't mean you can, like talk down to me about this.
Yeah, and like, it doesn't mean you have the answers to everything, or like,
and this was my, like, yeah, like, I get it, I'm just a 16-year-old girl, it was just my first boyfriend, but I was going through that time, I was experiencing that, I had never had a boyfriend before, and so, like, I felt like I couldn't talk to anyone about it, because everyone was just like, okay, you're just a little girl, like, shut up, no one cares about your stupid relationship, and we didn't date for that long either, but it was, like, the timing of when we started dating that made it so toxic. Like, I should have seen the red flags, like, way beforehand. Like, people were telling me that they were, like, seeing him hanging out with other girls at school, and then when I would ask about it, he would, like, deny it, and then he was, like, asking other girls for news, like, while we were dating, and he would just deny it. Yeah, and I stayed with him, and, like, I think that's honestly why I haven't been in a relationship since then, is because, like, I think, like, subconsciously, I'm so scared that I'm gonna, like, go back down to that place where I was before, where I was like, I have to be with him, even though he was like this horrible, toxic person.
Yeah.
So I don't want to like give him the power of being like, he's the reason why I'm not in a relationship. Like, I haven't been in a relationship since then.
It's because you know your worth.
Right. But he's also the reason why.
Yeah.
Because it's scary.
But I feel like that's valid. Like, one of my worst fears is being cheated on. Like, I don't know what, I would probably, like, honestly, I'd probably, like, slash their tires and commit arson.
I thought about going psycho crazy bitch on him, and then I was
I totally would. Like, if you asked me what I would have done, like, 2 years ago, I would have been like, oh, I would be really sad. But now, no. It's payback. It's payback down,
I remember when he broke out with me. The day he broke out with me, I was in my room and I was walking in circles and I felt like I couldn't breathe, which is so embarrassing because I was like, he was my first boyfriend, but I felt like I couldn't breathe, I couldn't talk, and I went over to my friend's house and like we like made cookies and did face masks, and I like just cried the whole time, and it's like so sad, like thinking back to how low I got over this like literal child.
Yeah.
But it was like, and I think I'm so scared of like being hurt like that again.
But I also think, like, what you went through and kind of what I went through in my relationships is important for, like I said, like, seeing what you don't like and seeing what you do like.
It's a learning experience.
It's learning, and it helps you develop. And I remember my senior year English teacher was like, how many of you have been heartbroken? And like he asked us to raise our hands. I didn't raise mine because I was a senior in high school. Like, never really seriously been with a guy. Guys didn't even look at me at that time. And he's like, you need to get your heart broken at least once.
Well, I've never been in love with anyone. Like, I've never, like, I don't know if I was heartbroken then. I think I was just broken over the fact that he was like my therapist, but I was never in love with him.
I don't.
Does that count? Was I still heartbroken? I don't know what he cared, because I was
You
never.
can still be heartbroken if you're not in love.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess I was.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think heartbreak is more than really, like, if someone close to you dies, it's heartbreak.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, me and my, I don't know if I've ever been in love, honestly. Like, I
definitely haven't.
I don't know. I don't know what love is. Like, that's the thing. It's like, I feel like if I knew what it was, that means I would have.
I mean, I just think about it like my family. Like, I talk about my mom all the time on this podcast. Like, I'm so close to my mom, and I would honestly do anything for her. Like, if she asked me to, like, come back home and move back home to Maryland because she needed me to, like, I 100% would without thinking. And, like...
I'm going to tell her to tell you that just so you're in Maryland all the time.
No, I don't think she would. She would be like, no, you need to
she's
stay
an
away.
independent woman. She's
Yeah, cool. I mean, me too. That's where I get it from. But, like, I'm always, like, I feel like I would know if I loved a guy because I would be willing to, like, sacrifice.
That's the thing, too, is, like, my parents' marriage is, like... Nothing. I'm really lucky to be able to say that my parents' marriage is, like, exactly what I want and exactly what I strive for.
No, me too. Your parents are couple goals. I want your parents as a relationship.
Yeah. And I think it's, like, when I find that person that, like, resonates that relationship, then I'll know. Yeah. You know, like, my parents, like, I'm so grateful because I have so many friends that, like, don't have that. And
yeah. No, that's also, like, a traumatizing thing for me. Like, I grew up with, like, my parents, like, not having, like, the healthiest relationship, and now they're separated, and it's just, like, like, I didn't ever have that, like, example of what a healthy relationship looks like.
Was it always like that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the majority of the time it was like that. I mean, we definitely, like, I'm not trying to say, like, they didn't have any happy moments, but it was always kind of, like, it was always kind of a little bit toxic in the household growing up. So I'm always kind of scared. I'm like, I don't want to get in a relationship that resembles that. That's, like, my biggest fear is to, like, end up, like, in a relationship like that.
One of my worst fears is divorce. And I don't mean that against, like, anyone. Like, I know divorces happen for reasons. Like, it's valid. Like, people that go through that are really strong. But, like, me personally, like, I just don't ever want to have to, I don't know.
It's so traumatizing on everyone. Like, everyone involved. Like, not even just you. If you have kids, it's traumatizing on them. It's traumatizing on your family. Like, especially, like, my mom is really close with my dad's mom, and she still has a relationship with her, even though they're, like, separated. So that's traumatic. Like, if my dad's mom...
they're, like, still family, though.
Yeah, it's like, but now it's, like, weird, because now she's, like, not actually together with my dad anymore, but she still calls my dad's mom and talks to them on, like, a regular basis.
But honestly, like, it's the grandma of her children, so like...
I mean, like, everyone... The whole family is always going to be in each other's lives no matter what, because of me and my sister. Yeah. So, yeah, and she's like the sweetest person ever, so she's just like, it's whatever, like, it's okay. Yeah. Okay, everyone, Sadie got up and left, but what were we just talking about?
Divorce.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm convinced I'm going to get divorced.
No! Have that mindset.
I've, like, decided I'm not going to get married because, like, I heard that, like, 50% of marriages end in divorce, and I have horrible luck. It's just not in the cards for me.
I also think that, like, okay, I'm going to say something. I also think that's because of how relationships have changed throughout the year. It used to be, like, nowadays, like, hookup culture is a really big thing.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And, everything is just so much more casual. People don't date to marry anymore. I sound so conservative saying that. But, like...
No, I agree.
I'm like, conservative when it comes to, like, a relationship.
Same.
Like, I date to marry. I don't like the whole hookup culture thing. Like,
Yeah, same.
And I'm not saying conservative, like a man and a woman. No, gay rights.
No, we're
But,
very
like,
pro
like,
gay rights here.
Allies.
Allies.
We're gonna cancel for saying that.
We're not gonna cancel for saying that. Everyone knows I'm a hashtag ally.
Yeah. No, but like I also don't believe that like women need to stay home and clean the house.
Oh God,
if
no.
they want to do that, then do that. Like, be a boss.
Yeah.
Woman. Like,
no, stay at home if you want, girl.
Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But there's also something wrong with your husband forcing you to, or that being like what people deem as like
normal.
Yeah, or like expected, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I will not be a stay-at-home mom. I have nothing against it. It's just not me. Like
I'd be so bored.
I thrive on chaos.
Me too.
I want to be a nurse. I want to be packaging gunshot wounds. I want to be resuscitating.
You should join
people.
the army.
Girl, I'm 4'9".
Oh, that's true.
But yeah, like I want the guy that opens the car door. I want flowers. I want like the person that asked my dad if he could marry me.
Yeah. No, if you don't hold the door open for me,
Bye.
immediate next. Like, okay, next.
No, literally. Yeah, I like chivalry.
Yeah.
Chivalry is dead, and I don't know.
No, hookup culture is so sad. Like,
It ruins so much.
I'm not into hookup. I mean, like, totally if you want to, girl, go ahead, like, have fun.
Yeah.
I'm just not, like, I will get attached too easily. I can't do hookups.
That's the thing, too, is, like, how do you kiss someone or do something without, like, catching feelings?
Yeah, I don't understand.
How do you do that?
I don't understand that. Miami, hookup culture is, like, so bad there. Like,
Yeah.
Miami is, like, only hookup culture, and I don't understand. I need to ask what some of my girlfriends how they do it, because I'll get so attached. So I'm like, okay, so we're gonna get married, so we're gonna have a dog, and we're gonna move into a house together, and we're gonna have 8 kids. Like,
Yeah.
that's the plan.
Yeah. No, and it's like, I don't know, guys will be like, yo, wanna, like, whatever, and I'm like, no.
When they're like, when they ask you what you're doing at 2 a.m. Bitch, I'm fucking asleep. That's what I'm doing at 2 a.m.
I'm sleeping. I'm in my REM. I have my CPAP on. Like, I am sleeping.
I've been taking my melatonin.
No, literally. Like, I popped 3 pills earlier. Not today, but...
Be real. I feel like I'm always talking to my mom, but I talk to my mom a lot. She's like my best friend. But I was talking to her about how, like, I just want, like, a guy to make the first move. Like, I hate making the first move.
Oh, God, don't even get me started.
No, and my mom's like, well, guys just don't come up to you because you intimidate them. And I'm like, girl, bye. But I think
you're hot.
Okay,
No, you
compliment.
are, like,
but I
literally.
think it's because I'm also, like, an extremely independent person.
You are.
And the second someone tries to tell me what to do, I'm like, oh, never mind. Like,
Yeah.
Hence why I moved so far away. Like, I love to do everything on my own. I love to be spontaneous. Yeah. And I hate being held down by the fact of being with a guy.
Yeah.
And I think guys are intimidated by the fact that, like, I refuse to be told what to do.
The thing with me is I have, let's just say, no social cues. No, I'm kidding. I have social cues, but, like, I'm the type of guy to... I'm the type of guy... No, I'm the type of girl to, like, flirt with a guy, like, make a first move, because I just don't care, and it's like, if you're not into me, then great, I know.
I'm horrible at making the first move.
No, I'm always the one. It's so annoying.
I'm horrible at it.
So when a guy is, like, flirty with me or whatever, like, I really like it, because I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm, like...
I like the initiative.
No, like, I'm very, like, snapping cute guy, like, oh, you're cute, or, like...
I never use Snap. I'm so bad with Snap.
No, I know.
Did you see my... I don't even have a full best friends list. My best friends list isn't even full on Snap. I'm horrible.
No, literally.
I'm horrible at talking to guys.
No, literally. And I get compliments on guys, like, oh, I really like how you're just, like, really out there. And, like, I don't know.
You're, like, really open.
I am very...
Like, you definitely wear your heart on your sleeve, I feel like.
Oh, for sure. And I want a guy that will, like, literally drive 9 hours to give me a hug.
If he wanted to,
He would. Like,
if he wanted to,
and
he
I
would.
deserve that, and you deserve that.
No, that's why I'm so picky about guys, because I'm expecting these like 19, 20, 21-year-old men to be like, I'll drive 9 hours to come give you a hug. And when they don't, I'm like, okay, fuck you.
Yeah. Or like, I want a guy to take me on like a cute ass picnic and buy me flowers.
And they're just like, oh,
and
I go
like
back to my room.
serenade
like,
me with
like,
their guitar.
No.
Like, is that too much to ask for?
Okay, Barbie. Over
No,
here
like
being
I want a
serenaded.
cat.
No, because the problem with me is that would give you the ick so bad. If a guy
No, that's
started
the thing,
singing
it's
on
like-
the guitar, I'd be like, oh.
No, actually, I don't think I would want that. I think I would probably throw up in my mouth.
I would.
Unless we were like dating for a while, then I don't think I would mind.
No, I would laugh at him.
I would laugh at him, but like I don't think it would like be as gross.
It wouldn't give me the ick.
No, but like I also think like cute, like cringy stuff is like fun. Like I'm into that.
Oh, no, that makes me cringe.
Like grab me and like slow dance with me.
Oh, I can't dance. That would embarrass me so bad. That gives me
No, I would get embarrassed, but like I don't give a crap.
That gives me PTSD from the 8th grade dance. When I had to this guy asked me the 8th grade dance, and I had to slow dance to Perfect by Ed Sheeran.
No, I have the most.
And I was taller than him, and it was the most awkward experience ever. We were slow dancing like where our arms were like straight apart from each other. We're just like swaying, and I have a
room
video
for
of it.
Jesus. No, there was this guy. So my sister, she's 2 years older than me. We've like gone the same like elementary, middle, like high school, whatever. And kindergarten. So I was in kindergarten. She was in the 2nd grade. There was this guy in her class, and I was always obsessed with him. I literally went to like inside her class, like during class time, and went up and was like, "Hey!"
Oh my gosh! How
Like
did your
the
teachers
mom,
let you do
the
that?
teacher of the class literally like told my mom about it, and like, and whenever I see her, like she's still. Everyone knows about it. Like, everyone in my sister's graduating class knows about it, I swear to God. And I was super obsessed with him, whatever. Everyone knew it. I was super vocal about it, like I am about everything. And when I was in the 6th grade, like, that's when the middle school dances started. And he was in the 8th grade. And, everyone knew I loved him, so they got him to slow dance with me.
Aww.
He was probably, like, how tall was I? I was 4'9", still the same height I am today. And he was probably like 5'8". Like,
Oh wow,
No,
that's the
he's,
same
like,
height as
really-
me. He was tall.
yeah, like
For an 8th grader, he was
probably-
tall.
I'm gonna guess he's like 6'5" now.
Oh my
But
god.
like he literally danced, like he had to get on his knees to dance. But
But
like literally, oh my god, thinking about how I was with guys in middle school, like I would literally go up to these guys. It was like kind of the popular like hot guys in my grade, and I'd be like, "Can you slow dance with me?" And looking back at that, I literally want to like shove my head into like drywall.
You're brave though.
I know.
I would
It's
have
so
never.
embarrassing.
Well, I mean, everyone was embarrassing.
But it's like the whole entire grade would watch me, and this guy who's like 2 feet taller than me be like,
That's kind of cute.
"Oh,
That's kind of cute.
no!" Like that's something that like.
At least he wasn't shorter than you.
Oh yeah, I've never had to worry about that.
No, at least. But I'm just saying. I feel like that's more embarrassing.
Oh my god, you want to know something really funny?
What?
So I had like a quote unquote boyfriend in the 3rd grade or whatever, and we were watching like The Parent Trap in class one day, and during the movie I was like, I want to break up, and he's, and he didn't say anything, and I was like, I want to break up. He's like, I heard you.
What did you say?
I was like,
I think I would be like, bitch, okay.
bitch, bye. No, and then there were like these. There's this guy that like I promised I would get married to him. I wonder if that's still like intact.
Oh my gosh, Tanner and I made a pact that if we're both not married by like 35 or something, we'll marry each other.
No, literally.
Which is really awkward because Tanner's a gay man, so I don't know how that would work if we
Can
got
I join?
married. Join the throuple? Yeah, join the throuple. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I'm at the point right now where I do not see myself ever getting married. Like, it's so sad because
You're gonna find a sexy man so dangerous that he has to paint his face. For work.
What does that even mean?
The military guys!
Oh God, no! I will never pursue a
I've had
relationship
so
with
many,
them.
not so many, I've had like a few situationships with military guys, and like, oh my god, I'm gonna throw up in my mouth. Also, like, my parents always were like, Grace, what are you doing?
No. Okay, but do you have anything else you want to talk about this topic?
If you're out there and you're looking for a wife, hit me up. No, I'm kidding. Oh my god, when I broke up with my most recent ex, he's like, you don't want a boyfriend, you want a husband. I'm like, yeah, I do.
Okay, and I feel like if like you're not pursuing,
He just wasn't there mature wise. I was much.
yeah. No, I always feel like I'm like way much more mature than the guys that I go out with.
Yeah.
But okay, so my goal is to be less picky with men. That's my goal, is to not just say no to every single guy that flirts with me because they give me the ick. Because like this was literally just happened the other day. Some guy was like flirting with me in the library and walked me home to my dorm, and I got the ick, and I never talked. I was like, I didn't even add it back on Snap. But okay, that's my goal.
No, because if that was me, I'd text him and be like, hey, you want to hang out?
No. I immediately was like, oh, never mind. Okay, so my goal is to not be so picky. What is your goal?
My goal is to not settle for less. Because,
As you should.
Because I've done that in the past, and I deserve better.
So,
and I'm a really good girlfriend, and
Yeah.
I go above and beyond compared. Actually, I'm not gonna say that. I go above and beyond, and I think I deserve someone.
I feel like we're like on two ends of the spectrum, and
You're
we need to like meet in the middle.
Men ain't shit, but we are.
Yeah, we are. Period. Okay. Oh, anything else?
Like Doja Cat said, ain't shit.
Period. But thank you so much for listening to this episode. Thank you so much to Grace for being the first ever guest on Hot Girls Can't Drive. And yeah, remember you can watch this episode on YouTube. Make sure to give this podcast 5 stars. If you have any recommendations for what you want to talk about, what do you want me to talk about on the next podcast? If you're on Spotify, you can scroll up and there's an option to write a suggestion. And yeah.
Wait,
Oh.
I want to play a song.
Go ahead, play a song, Grace. Here's our outro song.
Wait, Brick.
Oh, wait, I might get copyrighted for this.
No, it'll be like 2 seconds, I promise.
Okay, Grace is going to play a song for 2 seconds. So, all right. Thanks, everyone, for listening to this episode. I'll see you next Sunday. Have a great week.